Justice Neil Gorsuch, before he was a justice, for his confirmation battle, Ron Bonjean, and a former clerk for Judge Kavanaugh, Justin Walker. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming in.
Thanks so much.
Justin, I want to start with you, because when I look at this witness list, the Republicans will get to bring in their witnesses who will support Judge Kavanaugh. The Democrats are entitled to have witnesses that they think will either oppose or raise questions about Judge Kavanaugh. But why in the world is John Dean, a figure of Watergate, what does he have to do with Judge Kavanaugh?
Well, I love that John Dean is one of the opposition witnesses because he's perfect. He's the anti-Kavanaugh. John Dean is a disgraced lawyer. This is the man, after all, who, as was said, betrayed his country and then betrayed his friends. He's not fit to touch Judge Kavanaugh's shoes, even if he stood on the highest mountaintop in the world. And the contrast between John Dean and the thoughtful, decent, fair-minded Judge Brett Kavanaugh is going to be exactly the kind of contrast that's going to reflect well on Judge Kavanaugh. And by the way, Judge Kavanaugh's witnesses are going to reflect well on him. We're going to hear from Lisa Blatt, a self-proclaimed liberal feminist lawyer who says Democrats should support Brett Kavanaugh because he is fair-minded and mainstreamed and a great jurist.
Now, Ron, it seems simple that the president is likely to have the votes to confirm future potential Justice Kavanaugh, currently Judge Kavanaugh. And so what the Democrats are doing is throwing up these witnesses we mentioned, but also claiming that there's some kind of a cover-up and he's not turning over enough documents. This tweet from Chuck Schumer on Friday saying, quote, "We're witnessing a Friday night document massacre. President Trump's decision to step in at the last moment and hide 100,000 pages of Judge Kavanaugh's records from the American public is not only unprecedented in the history of SCOTUS nominations, it has all the makings, Schumer said, of a cover-up." Well, we actually looked at the numbers, and you had set the record when you were leading the Gorsuch fight. He turned over 182,000 documents. That nobody had ever done that. And Kavanaugh, by our count, has now released over 440,000 documents. So what are the Democrats talking about?
Well, what they're doing is they're trying to use this to delay the hearings, which aren't going to be delayed. We're having them tomorrow, but it's really a Hail Mary pass. It's likely that Kavanaugh is going to be confirmed, and that's because he has been rated well qualified by the American Bar Association. He has served on the bench of the D.C. Circuit Court for 12 years. He has 13 opinions that have been upheld at the Supreme Court. He is a brilliant legal mind. And most senators most Republican senators are going to vote for him, if not all of them, and several Democrats likely are going to jump in. The key here is that he needs to knock it out of the park.
Justin, let me give you 30 seconds on what you got to know as a clerk for Judge Kavanaugh. What do you want the American people to know about him?
Oh, well, you know, I've never met a better lawyer. I've never had the opportunity to work for a better man. He really is, as President Barack Obama's Solicitor General said, a brilliant jurist. And his approach to the law is very much in the mainstream. And, you know, I would just encourage the American people not to believe the Chuck Schumers and Chicken Littles, the sky is following, and, you know, peddlers of panic out there. The more they learn about Judge Kavanaugh and his great mainstream record, the more they're going to really like this guy.
Ron, I've got 30 seconds for you. You helped then Judge Gorsuch go through these so-called murder boards where they practice what a hearing is going to be like. But before you get before those hot lights and all the coverage, it's got to be very difficult for the nominee, even when it looks like they're going to have the votes. Take us inside the room. What is the practice session? What are those?
I would tell you what Kavanaugh has been doing right now has been going through literally hundreds of hours of practice sessions over the old executive office building where they set up a fake hearing room, and they have White House counsel, they have former clerks, former senators and current senators that come in and ask him the hardest questions to get him ready for those hearings, because it is arduous to sit there all day and be pounded with questions. And, you know, you want to make sure that he's just ready and battle tested, because he's going to do a great job, but we don't want to get caught in those gotcha moments.
All right, Ron, Justin, thanks for taking us behind the curtain tonight. The battle begins tomorrow. All right, and when we return, Nike has a new lead spokesman for its 30th anniversary ad campaign. So many amazing athletes to choose from: LeBron, Michael Jordan.